Find a quiet space where stillness begins. This moment holds the key to liberation. Not far away, but within your own presence. Suffering's universal ache dissolves when you simply arrive here, now. As you settle, share your current time, location, and one thing you're reflecting on below. Let your intention anchor you. This shared space of awareness is where awakening starts. We'll explore the root of suffering together, gently uncovering what has been hidden in plain sight. We have been gently resting in the present moment, feeling the quiet space where suffering dissolves. Now, let us softly uncover the deep root from which suffering truly grows. It is not the rain that falls, nor the wind that blows, nor the difficult person we meet that causes our pain. The root lies within us, in the very way we relate to life itself. Suffering arises not from external circumstances, but from craving and ignorance. Craving is that constant pull towards something we believe will make us happy, or away from something we fear. It is the tight grip on how things must be, the desperate hope that the world, or our experience, will conform to our inner picture. Ignorance is the blindness to the true nature of reality, that all things are impermanent, interconnected, and lack a fixed, separate self. We cling to the illusion of a permanent, separate me that must have things a certain way. Imagine the simple act of pouring tea. You prepare it with care, expecting a perfect cup, warm and fragrant, just as you imagine. Then, the tea spills slightly, or it is a little cooler than you wanted. Instantly, a small wave of frustration arises. You think, this should be perfect, or why does it always happen like this? The spill itself is merely a minor event, but the suffering comes from the craving for the tea to be exactly as you envisioned and the ignorance of the natural flow of things. When you notice the spill, you might think, this is not how it should be, and that thought creates the suffering. Yet, if you simply notice the spill without that judgment, without the should, the tea is still tea. The cup is still warm enough. The moment is still here, not defined by your expectation. This is the insight we hold gently today. Reflect now on your own life. Where do you cling to how things should be right now? Perhaps it is the way your conversation should have gone, the way your day should have unfolded, the way someone else should behave. Notice the subtle tension in your body, the quiet sigh of disappointment, the mental note of it should be different. That is the root. Now, practice this simple awareness. In the next few moments, notice one small craving without judgment. Maybe it is the desire for a sip of water, the wish for a moment of quiet, or the small wish that a sound would stop. Observe it as it arises, a feeling, a thought, a pull. Simply notice it, without adding, I shouldn't want this or I must have it. See it as a natural movement within the field of awareness, like a cloud passing through the sky. No need to chase it away. No need to grasp it tightly. Just see it as it is right now, and let it be. This gentle noticing is the practice of seeing through the illusion of craving. This insight reveals how to transform our relationship with suffering. It is not about avoiding pain, but about understanding its true source. When we recognize craving and ignorance as the root, we can begin to loosen the grip. We can meet life as it is, not as we imagine it must be. The path of liberation begins not with changing the world, but with changing our own seeing. We begin to see the impermanent nature of all things, the interconnected flow, and the freedom that comes from releasing the tight hold on how it should be. This is the foundation we stand upon. The next step is to explore how this understanding naturally leads to a profound shift in how we live, moment by moment. Imagine sitting with a cup of tea, steam rising gently into the quiet morning air. You notice the warmth in your hands, the slight tremor in the cup as you set it down. Now, what happens if you feel a small ache in your shoulder? How often do you immediately think, "This is annoying. It shouldn't be here. I wish it would just go away"? That thought adds another layer of suffering to the simple sensation. True liberation begins not by pushing the ache away, but by seeing it clearly as it is, just a sensation, neither good nor bad, simply present. The end of suffering comes from seeing reality clearly, not avoiding it. It is in this clear seeing that the roots of our struggle loosen and fall away. Consider the ancient practice of a monk preparing tea. He does not rush, nor does he tense his jaw at the slow boil of the water. He observes the sound of the kettle, the way the steam curls, the slight resistance of the lid. When the water finally comes to a boil, he does not sigh with relief or think, "Finally, it's done." He simply notices the moment as it unfolds, without adding judgment or desire for it to be different. This is not passive observation. It is active, gentle awareness. The monk's suffering dissolves not because the water boils faster, but because he meets each moment with clear seeing, without the extra weight of craving or aversion. His presence is the end of suffering. Reflect gently on this. When did you last see a problem without adding mental suffering? Perhaps it was a minor delay in traffic, a comment that stung, or a task that felt tedious. In that moment, did you notice the extra layer of frustration you added, the "shouldn't be this way" thought, or did you simply feel the sensation without the story? That moment of clear seeing, however brief, is where liberation begins. It is the space where suffering stops multiplying. Now, Try this simple practice. Find a small discomfort right now, perhaps a tightness in your chest, a faint noise, or even the feeling of your feet on the floor. For 60 seconds, observe it without labeling it bad or unpleasant. Notice its shape, its texture, its presence. Do not try to change it or make it go away. Simply let it be as it is. Breathe into it. If thoughts arise like "this is terrible," gently acknowledge them and return to the sensation itself. This is not about suppressing discomfort. It is about meeting it with a calm, open awareness. In those 60 seconds, you are practicing the end of suffering. You are seeing reality clearly, not through the lens of craving or fear. This clarity is not a distant goal. It is the very ground of our daily lives. It is not found in grand revelations, but in the ordinary moments we usually rush past: the sound of rain on the roof, the weight of a book in your hands, the pause between breaths. When we stop adding suffering to the raw experience of being, we begin to live from a place of ease. The root of suffering is not the discomfort itself, but the story we tell about it. When that story dissolves through clear seeing, we find ourselves already free. This clarity naturally leads to integrating presence into daily moments. It is not a practice to add to your day, but the natural unfolding of awareness when we stop resisting what is. The next step is not more effort, but a gentle turning toward the ordinary, with the same calm attention the monk gives to his tea. In this moment, as you breathe, you touch the only place where life truly exists. The past is memory. The future is thought, but the breath is always here, grounding us in what is. We often move through our days without noticing this steady rhythm, caught instead in the current of our thoughts about what was or what might be. We miss the breath countless times, lost in stories of needing things to be different, forgetting that the very breath we take is the bridge between what has been and what might come. This is why the practice of mindful breath is not just a technique, but a gentle return to ourselves. It is the simplest way to dissolve the illusion that we are separate from the present moment, to see clearly that impermanence is always here, in the rising and falling of the breath. Consider the old Zen story of the monk who sat with his tea. As steam curled from the cup, he noticed the warmth, the scent, the sound of the water. But then his mind began to wander, planning his next task, worrying about the weather. He paused, took one slow breath, and felt the coolness of the air on his skin, the weight of the cup in his hands. With the next breath, he noticed the quiet stillness of the room. With the third, he returned fully to the taste of the tea, the warmth spreading through him. He hadn't changed the tea, nor the room, nor his thoughts. He had simply noticed the breath, and in that noticing, the scattered mind settled. The ordinary act of drinking tea became a moment of deep presence, free from the tension of wanting it to be something else. Reflect now on your own day. How many times did you miss your breath? Perhaps while waiting in line, rushing to an appointment, or scrolling through a screen. You were not truly here. Your mind was elsewhere, caught in the current of expectation or worry. This is not a failure, but a common human condition. The practice is simply to notice the absence, then gently return before your next action, before you speak, before you turn to another task. Pause. Take 3 conscious breaths. Feel the air enter your nostrils. Fill your lungs and gently release. Let each breath be a soft anchor. Pulling you back from the edge of distraction into the solid ground of now. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. In this simple act, there is no need to fix anything. There is only the quiet invitation to be exactly where you are, meeting life as it is, without judgment or resistance. This anchor of breath is the foundation for seeing clearly how we create suffering through our reactions to the moment. When we are truly present, we see sensations as they are: warmth, sound, pressure, without adding the story that says they must be different. The craving to change what is dissolves because we are no longer resisting the present. The breath reminds us that liberation is not found in some distant future or perfect circumstance, but right here, in the space between one breath and the next. It is the gentle, unshakable awareness that we are already whole, already free, simply by being present with what is. With this anchor of breath, we can begin to see how non-attachment is not about pushing away, but about meeting ordinary life with an open heart. It is the natural unfolding of awareness when we stop fighting the present moment and simply rest within it. As we carry this mindful presence into the next ordinary act, we discover that awakening is not something to be achieved, but something already here, waiting to be noticed with each breath. In the quiet space between breaths, where the mind settles like dust in sunlight, we find ourselves fully here, exactly as life unfolds. This is the ground we've been cultivating through mindful breathing, the anchor that dissolves the illusion of separation. Now, as we move through the ordinary moments of daily life, a deeper teaching emerges. True engagement does not require holding on. Non-attachment is not withdrawal. It is the profound freedom found in being fully present without clinging to how things must be. It is the tea master preparing a cup with complete attention, not worrying if the guest will praise the brew or find it too strong. The master is wholly in the pouring, the warmth of the cup, the quiet exchange, without needing the outcome to be a certain way. This is the essence of non-attachment, to meet the moment with open hands, not clenched fists. We often hold tightly to expectations, how a conversation should go, how a task should turn out, how another person should act. We cling to these mental pictures, and in doing so, we create the very tension we seek to avoid. The tightness in the shoulders, the restless thoughts, the subtle resistance in the heart. They arise not from the situation itself, but from our refusal to let go of the story we imagine must be true. So we pause and gently ask ourselves, what are you holding on to right now that causes this quiet tension? Is it the need for approval in a meeting? The certainty that a project must succeed a certain way? The hope that someone will change? Notice the subtle weight of these expectations, the way they pull you out of the present moment and into a future that doesn't yet exist. This is the root of suffering we've been exploring, our mental stories about life, not life itself. Now, practice this simple living wisdom in your next ordinary interaction. Let go of one small expectation. Let go of needing a specific response from a friend, of wanting a task to be finished exactly as you planned, of hoping a situation will feel a certain way. Simply meet the moment as it is, with full presence, without the hidden demand that it be otherwise. Feel the softening that comes when you release that tiny grip. The conversation may flow differently. The task may take a new shape, but the space within you opens. You are no longer fighting the reality of the moment. You are simply being in it. This is the gentle, powerful practice of non-attachment in daily life. It is not about becoming detached or indifferent, but about engaging deeply and freely, without the burden of clinging. As you let go of that one expectation, you step into a deeper awareness of your own nature, unburdened by the need to control the world around you. This freedom from attachment opens us to deeper self-inquiry. Awakening isn't a distant peak to reach, but the quiet recognition of the sacred unfolding within the ordinary. It's not found in extraordinary events or special moments, but right here, in the simple rhythm of daily life. Think of the gentle anchor of mindful breathing we practiced, how it dissolved separation, meeting life exactly as it is. Now, this presence naturally flows into the ordinary tasks that make up our days, revealing that liberation isn't separate from washing the dishes, walking to the store, or making tea. Non-attachment, which we explored as releasing small expectations, isn't a practice for special occasions. It's the very ground of meeting each mundane task with open awareness, without clinging to how it should be or what it must produce. True freedom is found not in escaping the ordinary, but in seeing it clearly, fully, as it is. Consider the ancient Zen practice of the tea ceremony. A master doesn't perform a ritual for show. They simply prepare the tea. The water hisses softly on the stove. The steam rises in delicate curls. They pick up the heavy clay bowl, feel its weight and coolness. the slight roughness of the glaze under their fingers. They pour the hot water, watching the leaves unfurl, releasing their scent into the air. There is no thought of the next task, no worry about whether the tea is perfect. The entire act becomes a single point of focus: the sound of the water, the warmth of the bowl, the scent of the leaves. In that moment, there is no separation between the person and the tea, between the action and the awareness. This is awakening not as an event, but as the natural state when we stop dividing life into important and ordinary moments. Reflect on your own day. When did you feel truly present without realizing it? Perhaps while walking the dog and noticing the sunlight on the leaves, or while listening to a friend without planning your next words. Maybe it was while washing the dishes, feeling the warm water, the smoothness of the plates, the rhythm of the task. You weren't thinking about tomorrow's meeting. You were simply here, engaged. That moment of pure presence, however fleeting, is the taste of awakening. It's not a special feeling. It's the ordinary mind, unclouded by distraction, recognizing the sacred in the mundane. This is the practice we invite you to try. Choose one simple task: washing the dishes, stirring a pot, even walking to the mailbox. Do it with your full attention. Feel the water, hear the sound, notice the movement. Don't think about finishing it, just be in the doing. Let the task absorb you completely, without judgment or desire for it to be different. This practice reveals how to see through illusion in daily life. It shows us that the illusion of separation, the feeling that we are separate from the water, the dishes, the moment is what creates suffering. When we fully engage in the ordinary, that illusion dissolves. The sacred isn't hidden in some distant place. It's right here, in the simple act of washing a plate, the warmth of the cup, the sound of the kettle. The mind's habitual chatter about the past or future fades, replaced by the direct, clear awareness of this moment. This is the doorway to awakening that opens not in a monastery, but in the kitchen, the hallway, the walk to work. It's the gentle, profound shift that happens when we stop seeking liberation outside of life and begin to see its presence in every ordinary breath, every ordinary moment. This is how the ordinary becomes extraordinary, not by changing what it is, but by changing how we see it. Consider the simple act of pouring water into a cup. Notice how often your mind is already elsewhere, planning the next task or replaying the last conversation while your hands move. This is the ordinary rhythm of our days, a river flowing past us without our full presence. Yet within this very flow, a profound shift is possible. When we bring our complete attention to a single, ordinary task, it ceases to be merely a task. It becomes a portal, a doorway opening directly into the present moment, revealing the sacredness inherent in the here and now. This is not about adding something new to your day. It is about uncovering what is already present, waiting to be seen clearly. In the Zen tradition, a master once said that the true practice is not found in the mountain monastery, but in the humble act of washing a single bowl. Imagine the monk, his hands submerged in cool water, the gentle scrape of a brush against ceramic, the sound of dripping water, the feel of the bowl's smooth curve. His mind is not chasing tomorrow's meal or dwelling on yesterday's mistake. His entire being is fully present in the water, the bowl, the movement of his hands. The bowl is no longer a thing to be cleaned. It is the entire world for that moment. The water is not merely water, it is the flow of life itself. This is not a special state reserved for rare moments. It is the natural state of awareness when we stop rushing and simply be. Reflect on your own day. What routine activity do you often rush through, barely noticing the details? Perhaps it is brushing your teeth, walking to the mailbox, or even the brief moment of waiting for the kettle to boil. How much of your attention is truly present in that moment? Or is it already scattered, lost in thought? This rush is the subtle barrier we build between ourselves and the reality of this very moment. It creates a sense of separation, as if the task is something separate from who you are, something to be endured rather than experienced. So, let us practice this simple yet revolutionary act. Choose one small task you normally rush through. It could be the first sip of your morning tea, the careful folding of a single garment, or the simple act of opening a door. For just 1 minute, commit to giving it your complete, undistracted attention. Feel the weight of the cup in your hands. Notice the warmth of the tea on your tongue. Hear the distinct sound of the fabric as you fold it. See the light on the door handle. Do not think about what comes next. Do not judge the task. Simply be with it, fully, for 60 seconds. This is not about achieving a perfect state. It is about the gentle, persistent return of your attention to the simple reality of what is happening right now, right here. In that minute of complete attention, a shift occurs. The rushing mind quiets. The separation dissolves. The task is no longer a burden to be completed, but a direct experience of being alive. The ordinary becomes extraordinary, not because it changes, but because your perception changes. You realize that liberation is not found in escaping the mundane, but in meeting it fully, without the veil of distraction. This awareness, this simple turning of attention to the present moment, is the key. It is the quiet realization that you have never been separate from reality. You have only been unaware of it, caught in the illusion of a separate self rushing through the world. This practice, this 1 minute of full presence, dissolves that illusion. It reveals the truth that awakening is not a distant destination, but the very ground of our ordinary, everyday life. waiting to be seen. In the quiet space between breaths, notice how often the word I arises like a small, insistent voice. It labels everything: my coffee, my time, my opinion, my right to be comfortable. This constant clutching at I and mine is the root of unnecessary suffering. It creates a cage around the present moment, making even simple tasks feel like battles to be won. We tighten our grip on how things should be, reacting when the world doesn't align with our personal narrative. That tightness in the chest, the quickened breath when someone takes the last item you wanted, this is ego feeling threatened, demanding its territory be respected. It's not about the item itself, but the story we tell ourselves: this is mine, and it was taken from me. This story, this clinging, is the very fabric of our struggle. Consider a moment today, perhaps while waiting in line, someone cut in front of you. Did your mind instantly declare, "That's unfair. This is my spot"? Or maybe you felt a pang when a colleague took credit for your idea, thinking, "That was my work, my contribution." Or perhaps you were simply annoyed because your coffee was too hot, murmuring internally, "My coffee should be perfect." These are the subtle, daily moments where I feels attacked, where mine feels violated. The suffering isn't in the line or the coffee. It's in the thought that says this shouldn't be happening to me. It's the ego's desperate attempt to hold on to control, to protect its fragile sense of self. Now, gently turn your awareness inward. Notice the next thought that carries the label my problem, my mistake, my chance. Feel it arise like a bubble forming on the surface of still water. Do not argue with it. Do not chase it. Simply observe it with the quiet curiosity of a leaf floating on a stream. See it as a passing thought, not a command, not a truth about reality. As you notice my or I, take a soft, slow breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine releasing that label with a gentle sigh. Let it go, like a leaf detaching from a branch. There is no need to hold on to it. You are not your thoughts, nor are you the story they create about what is yours or what happened to you. The space you create by releasing that label is where true presence begins to settle. This practice is not about suppressing thoughts or denying your experience. It's about recognizing the habit of clinging and choosing in each moment to loosen the grip. It's understanding that the very thing we fight to protect, the idea of a separate, permanent I, is the source of the pain. When we stop fighting the feeling of being threatened, we find we were never truly threatened in the first place. We were merely holding a story too tightly. The space opened by releasing that story is vast and open, not empty but full of possibility. It's the space where the ordinary moment, without the ego's commentary, reveals its inherent peace. Releasing ego creates space for emptiness as freedom. Consider the simple act of reaching for a cup of tea. Your hand moves before thought, drawn by a familiar pull. This moment, like countless others, holds the key to liberation. Desire cycles bind us, not through the objects we seek, but through the invisible chain of I want and I need. We chase the next sensation, the next resolution, believing fulfillment lies just beyond the current craving. Yet this very seeking is the trap. The freedom we seek is not found in satisfying the desire, but in seeing its nature, how it arises, how it dissolves, and how it is empty of any permanent, independent existence. It is a wave on the ocean of awareness, not the ocean itself. Recognizing this emptiness, this lack of inherent substance in the craving, is where true release begins. Reflect gently on your own present moment. What desire is driving your current action? Is it the urge to check your phone for a notification? The need for approval in a conversation? The pull towards a specific outcome? Simply naming it, without judgment, is the first step. See it as a passing thought, a temporary pull of energy within the field of awareness, not the command of an unchanging self. This is not about suppression, but about clear seeing. It is the gentle inquiry, what is this wanting, rather than I must have this. Now, practice this awareness in your next ordinary action. Feel the urge rise, perhaps for that first sip of tea, or the next email, or the next thought. Before you act, before you reach, before you speak, pause, just for 10 seconds. Breathe. Notice the tension in your shoulders, the quickening of your breath, the shape of the wanting thought. Feel the space between the impulse and the action. In that tiny gap, the cycle loosens. You are not the desire. You are the awareness holding the desire. The craving does not vanish, but its power to control you weakens. You see it for what it is, a temporary energy pattern, not a command to be obeyed. This pause is not a pause in life. It is a conscious step out of the cycle, a moment of freedom discovered within the very movement of desire. This practice dissolves the illusion of separation that fuels the cycle. When we see desire as empty, we stop seeing ourselves as separate from it, fighting against it, or trying to own it. We see it as part of the same seamless flow of experience. The I that clung to the desire, that felt the separation between me and this craving, begins to soften. The grip of the ego on the experience relaxes. The frantic seeking for external fulfillment ceases, because you are already fully present within the moment, including the desire itself. The ordinary act of making tea, of waiting for a bus, of listening to a colleague, these become not just tasks, but the very ground of awakening. They are not escapes from life, They are life itself, fully experienced, free from the tyranny of the next thing. This insight, born in the quiet space of a 10-second pause, this deepening understanding of desire's emptiness, leads us naturally to the deeper practice of Zazen. For in that pause, we touch the stillness that is always present beneath the surface of seeking. We touch the unchanging awareness that observes the cycle without being trapped by it. The 10 seconds of pause becomes the doorway to the boundless peace of seated stillness. The ordinary moment, fully lived, becomes the path. Consider the quiet moment before you fully wake each morning. The mind drifts, weaving stories about the day ahead, about what might go wrong, about how others see you. You feel the tightness in your chest, the familiar grip of worry, and without pause, you believe it's true. This is real. This is how things are. But this is the illusion we live within, the very fabric of suffering. Suffering does not arise from the traffic jam, the harsh word, or the empty fridge. It arises from clinging to the thought that these events define you, that the story you tell yourself about them is the unchanging truth. The illusion is believing thoughts and emotions are reality itself, not just passing weather in the mind's sky. Today, as you move through your ordinary day, notice the moments you mistake a thought for truth. Perhaps it was the sharp sting of criticism that made you feel small, or the anxious thought about a meeting that made your hands tremble. You felt it as fact, as reality, not as a temporary story your mind created. This is the daily dance of illusion. Now, practice gently. When you feel that familiar heat of anger, the cold weight of fear, or the sharp edge of disappointment rise within you, pause. Take one slow breath. Ask yourself softly, not with judgment, but with open curiosity. Is this real or just a story? Feel the physical sensation of the emotion, the heat, the tightness, the rush, and then observe the thought behind it. They don't respect me, I will fail. This is terrible. Notice how the thought shapes the feeling, yet the thought itself is just a pattern of words and images, not the ultimate nature of the moment. The story is not the reality. The reality is the raw sensation, the present moment, which is always already free of the story you add. This practice isn't about denying the feeling or forcing calm. It's about seeing clearly. See the thought as a thought, the emotion as a feeling, both arising and passing, not as the fixed truth of who you are or what is happening. See the separation you feel between yourself and the traffic, between yourself and the other person. Dissolve in that moment of inquiry. You are not the story of your anger, nor the story of your fear. You are the awareness that holds the story. And the awareness is spacious, unharmed. This gentle noticing, This simple question asked in the heat of the moment is the path. It is not a grand spiritual feat, but the quiet, courageous act of seeing clearly in the ordinary, right here, right now. It is the daily practice of stepping back from the story and meeting the direct experience of being. When you notice the story arising, when you ask, is this real or just a story? The illusion begins to soften. The tight grip of I am this feeling loosens. The separation dissolves. Releasing the I narrative dissolves the illusion of separation. Opening to freedom beyond desire cycles. This seeing reveals emptiness as the ground of being, not as an absence, but as the boundless, clear space where all stories arise and pass, and where you, as the awareness, are already free. This is how the ordinary becomes the path. This is how the moment of upset becomes the doorway. This is how liberation is found. Not in escaping the story, but in seeing it for what it is. Breathe in the quiet of this moment. Feel the gentle breeze on your skin, the soft rustle of leaves. Notice how the world unfolds without needing to be labeled or claimed. This is the space where true seeing begins. The teaching of emptiness is not about absence, but about interdependence. Phenomena arise in a vast, seamless dance, thoughts, emotions, even the sense of self, none fixed, none separate. They flow like water in a river, shaped by countless causes and conditions, never standing alone. When we cling to the idea of a fixed, independent me, we create a cage of illusion. But emptiness reveals the freedom within that very interdependence. There is no separate entity to grasp or protect. The me we identify with, our roles, our achievements, even our feelings of anxiety, is a story woven from the fabric of the moment, not a permanent possession. It is like mist rising from the earth. It appears, it moves, it dissolves. Yet the earth remains unchanged. Consider this. What me do you hold so tightly that it feels like yours? Is it the job title you wear like armor? The memories you guard like treasure? The belief that you must be strong or perfect? These are not yours to own. They are passing weather in the boundless sky of awareness. They arise, they shift, they pass, just like the clouds drifting across the sun. When you notice a thought, perhaps I'm failing, instead of saying I'm failing, simply observe the thought as it is. See it as a cloud floating through the mind, not as something that belongs to a solid I. There is no need to claim it, defend it, or push it away. It is simply there, like the sound of a bird singing outside. Try this now. As you listen, notice a thought arise. Say, "This is too hard." Pause. Breathe. Ask gently, who is having this thought? Feel the space where the thought appears. Is there a separate me behind it? Or is it just the thought appearing and dissolving in the open field of awareness? You will find no fixed owner, only the clear seeing of the thought itself. This is not intellectual understanding, it is a direct letting go. It is the quiet release of holding on to identity as a thing to be defended. This practice dissolves the illusion that we must be something specific, something permanent. When the thought "I am tired" arises, you see it as the mind's natural rhythm, not a statement about a solid self. The tiredness is real, yet it is not mine in the way we imagine. It is part of the interdependent flow. This is how emptiness becomes freedom, by seeing that there is no separate self to be lost, only the unfolding of life as it is. There is no me to be disappointed, no me to be saved. Only the open, ungrasping presence that meets each moment as it comes. This understanding transforms how we relate to identity. It is not a new identity we create, but the end of the struggle to maintain one. We no longer need to build walls around a self that doesn't exist. Instead, we rest in the simplicity of being here, now fully present in the flow of life. The clouds may gather, but the sky remains untouched. This is the freedom that comes from seeing through illusion. It is the path where every breath, every thought, every ordinary moment becomes a doorway to awakening. Imagine standing at the edge of a swift river, watching the water flow past. You see your reflection briefly in the current, but it shifts, dissolves, and reappears as the water moves. This is the nature of what we call self. It is not a fixed point like a stone on the bank, but a temporary gathering of ripples, reflections, and currents. We often cling to the idea of a permanent I, a solid identity we wear like a familiar coat. But consider this gently. What would you be without the role you hold today? Without the label that shapes how you see yourself? Without being the parent, the worker, the friend, the one who feels anxious or joyful in this moment, who remains? A Zen monk once stood before a mirror, deeply troubled by his sense of self. He saw only a face, a body, a name, and felt a tightness in his chest. One morning, as he washed his face, he looked into the water and asked himself, "What is this I that feels so real?" He watched the water, the reflection, the ripples from his hand. The image wavered, the edges blurred, and the tightness in his chest began to soften. He realized the reflection was not separate from the water. It was the water itself, flowing, changing. The I he sought was not found in the mirror, but in the very act of looking, which was empty of a separate self. Now, let us pause together. Take 3 simple I statements that define you right now. Perhaps you say, "I'm a teacher," or "I am tired," or I am someone who worries. Write them down softly, or hold them in your mind. Now, gently ask, is this statement always true? What would happen if this role, this feeling, this label dissolved? Could you still be here, breathing, aware, without it? Does the I that says I'm tired remain when the tiredness passes? Does the I that says I am a teacher still exist when you step away from the classroom? The answer is not found in a fixed answer, but in the quiet space of questioning itself. This is not about losing yourself, but about seeing clearly. It is the softening of the grip on a story that was never real. The temporary collection of experiences, thoughts, feelings, roles has been mistaken for a solid entity. When we question that, we see the space between the thoughts, the openness where everything arises and passes, the need to defend a fixed self, to prove who we are, begins to fall away. There is no longer a separate me to protect, only the flow of life, clear and unburdened. This gentle inquiry is not a long journey into complexity. It is the simplest path. As the question dissolves, as the clinging to the label fades, only the simplicity of being remains. The river flows without needing to be the bank. The reflection dissolves into the water. This is not an idea to grasp, but a quiet unfolding. When we stop searching for the solid self and simply rest in the seeing, we find the simplicity that has always been here, the very ground of awakening. This is the path of liberation, not through adding something new, but through seeing what was never obscured. The next step is to simply be, without the need to say who. Imagine the river we spoke of earlier, flowing without needing to defend its banks. It simply is, moving with the land, the sky, the rain. Now, consider this: the very liberation we seek isn't hidden in some distant mountain peak or complex ritual. It is found right here, in the quiet space between thoughts, in the simplicity of just being. Awakening isn't a puzzle to solve or a mountain to climb. It is the gentle return to what is already whole and unburdened. We have been adding layers upon layers of complication to our experience, mistaking the elaborate map for the territory itself. The map is useful, but when we forget the territory is right here, we become lost in the lines we drew. This is the essence of simplicity as the awakening path. Think of the old Zen story of the monk who arrived at a monastery, tired and thirsty. The abbot simply placed a bowl of water before him. The monk drank deeply, feeling the cool water, the simple act of being satisfied. He didn't need to analyze the water, question its source, or wonder if it was the right kind. He simply drank. That was the teaching. The water was always water. The thirst was always met. There was no need for anything more. The complexity came later. When the monk began to think about the water, the bowl, the abbot's intention. The simplicity was the path itself, not a step along it. So take this moment to reflect gently. What unnecessary complexity have you been adding to your life? Is it the mental chatter about how a meal should taste? Or the worry about whether your effort was perfect? Is it the endless planning for a future that may never arrive? Or the rumination on a past that has already passed? Look closely. See the extra effort you put into making a simple thing feel harder. The stories you weave around ordinary moments. That extra layer is the illusion we've been taught to carry. It is not the truth of things, but a shadow we cast. Now, practice this simplicity in the smallest way today. Choose one ordinary act. Perhaps it is the simple act of eating your breakfast. Sit down. Feel the chair beneath you. Notice the warmth of the cup in your hands. Take one bite. Taste the food. Feel the texture. Do not think about your email, your worry, or what you will do next. Just eat. Let the act of eating be just eating, without the commentary, without the judgment of it being too slow or too fast. This is not about doing more. It is about doing less. It is about releasing the unnecessary burden of adding complexity to the simple flow of being. This small practice is not merely a technique, it is a return to your natural state. It is the gentle recognition that you are not separate from the river. You are the river flowing. The effort to be something more, to fix something broken, is the very illusion we are seeing through. In this simplicity, there is no need to defend or construct. There is only the clear seeing of what is. The river flows. The water is cool. The meal is eaten. And in that simple flow, without the weight of added thought, the ground for deep meditation is already prepared. This simplicity, this unburdened presence in the ordinary, is the very foundation. It is the quiet doorway that leads beyond the illusion of separation. When we rest in this simplicity, we are not seeking something new. We are simply seeing the stillness that has always been here, beneath the surface of our busy minds. It is the natural state of awakening, waiting patiently in the quiet space of a single, undistracted bite. This is the path that prepares us for the deep, silent meditation that follows. In the quiet space between breaths, where thoughts naturally settle like dust in still air, lies the mind's own clear nature. Zazen, simply sitting without effort or expectation, does not force clarity into being. It gently allows the mind to uncover what has always been there, its own effortless transparency. When we stop chasing after the next thought, or trying to shape the experience, the constant chatter of the inner critic and the restless seeking dissolve. What remains is not a special state, but the ordinary, unadorned awareness that was never obscured. It is like stepping back from a fogged window and seeing the sky. Not because the sky changed, but because the fog lifted through stillness. The mind, when unagitated, reveals itself as naturally clear as a mountain stream in a deep valley. This is the essence of just sitting. It is not about achieving a particular feeling or emptying the mind completely. It is simply resting in the present moment as you are, without adding anything or taking anything away. The question arises gently: what does just sitting mean to you right now? Not as a concept to be solved, but as a simple, immediate invitation. It means sitting without needing to be anywhere else, without needing to fix anything, without needing to become something more. It means recognizing that you are already whole, already clear, simply by being here. There is no need to search for something hidden beneath the surface, because the surface itself is transparent when the mind is calm. So, for the next 5 minutes, let us sit together in this simple practice. Sit comfortably, support your spine gently, and rest your hands on your lap. Close your eyes or soften your gaze downward. Breathe naturally, without trying to control it. Let your awareness rest in the feeling of sitting, the sound of the room, the subtle movement of your breath. There is no goal to reach, no distraction to avoid. If a thought arises, notice it like a cloud passing through the sky, and gently return to the feeling of sitting. Do not judge the thoughts or the quiet. Just sit, simply. Allow the mind to settle into its own quiet clarity, as water settles when the wind stills. This practice is not separate from your life. It is the very ground from which your life unfolds. When you sit without goal or distraction, you are not escaping the world, you are returning to the natural state of awareness that is already present in every step you take, every word you speak, every moment of ordinary living. The stillness you cultivate here nourishes a silent awareness that flows through all your activities. It is not a special state reserved for the cushion. It is the simple clarity of being present, fully, without the need to create or control. This stillness nurtures silent awareness in all activities. As this stillness flows into daily life, a deeper layer of practice emerges, silent awareness. It is not something we create, but the very ground of our being, always present beneath the surface of thought. Notice how awareness itself is already here, before the mind names a sound, labels an image, or constructs a story. Awareness is like the clear sky, while thoughts are merely passing clouds. Our natural state is this unclouded clarity, untouched by judgment or the need to fix anything. It is not a special achievement, but the simple fact of being awake right now. To touch this, let us practice gently. Sit quietly for 2 minutes. Simply notice the sounds around you, the distant hum of traffic, the rustle of leaves, the soft creak of the house. Do not name them as car, wind, or floorboard. Do not judge them as pleasant or disturbing. Simply let the sound arise in awareness, then pass, without the mind adding a label or a story. The sound is heard, but the thought sound does not need to follow. This is not about emptying the mind, but about resting in the space where sounds appear without the mind's interference. If a thought arises, "I should be doing something else," gently return to the sound, as one might return to a steady breath. There is no need to push the thought away. Simply notice it passing through the clear space of awareness. This is the practice of resting in the natural flow of experience, without grasping or rejecting. Gently reflect, when did you notice awareness before thoughts arose? Perhaps it was in a moment of quiet surprise, like when you first heard a bird sing in the morning, before you thought, bird, or when you paused before reacting to a sudden noise, feeling the space before the reaction formed. Awareness was already there, waiting. It is not a new discovery, but a rediscovery of what has always been true. The mind often forgets this, caught in the current of its own making, but it is never lost. It is the quiet witness beneath all the activity. This silent awareness practice is not separate from the ordinary moments of life. It is the same clarity that was present in the stillness you felt while sitting in the previous practice. Now, we deepen it by noticing how thoughts arise within that awareness, rather than confusing the two. Thoughts come and go like passing weather, but awareness remains steady, like the mountain. This is not a state we reach, it is the recognition of what is already here, unobstructed by the mind's constant commentary. As you notice sounds without labeling them, you begin to feel the space between thoughts. You realize that the mind story is not the only reality. There is a deeper knowing, a silent presence that observes the story without being bound by it. This is the foundation for true liberation. It is not about achieving a special state, but about seeing clearly what is already present. The moment you notice a sound without labeling it, you are already free from the past regret that might have been tied to that sound. You are simply hearing the sound without the weight of "it was bad" or "I should have done differently." The past regret dissolves not by effort, but by resting in this natural awareness, which has no need to hold on to the past. This awareness helps release past regrets immediately. In this quiet space of practice, we return to the present moment, where all that has been carried can finally be set down. Regrets are not stones we must carry, they are shadows cast by the past. Yet they only hold power when we mistake them for reality. The truth is simple: regrets bind us to what is already gone, while liberation happens only here, now, in the space between breaths. You may notice a certain weight, a familiar ache, a thought that whispers from yesterday or years ago. That is the past trying to claim the present. But remember, the past is never present. It exists only in memory, and memory is not reality. Your awareness, the clear ground we've been cultivating, is already free of this weight. It has always been free. The release is not about erasing the past, but about dissolving the grip of its hold on your now. Consider this: what regret is still affecting you today? Not the distant memory, but the one that surfaces when you pause, that colors your morning cup of tea or the way you speak to someone. It might be a word left unsaid, a choice you wish you could undo. Notice it without judgment, as if seeing a cloud pass through the sky. Do not chase it. Do not argue with it. Simply acknowledge its presence. Now, bring your attention to your breath. Breathe in gently, and as you do, feel the space where the regret resides. Breathe into that space, not to hold it tighter, but to meet it with pure presence. Let the inhale soften the edges of the memory. Then, as you exhale, imagine releasing it completely. Feel the tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, melting away with the outgoing breath. Let the regret dissolve, not as something to be fixed, but as something that simply is not needed here. It is not yours to carry any longer. This is the practice, not to force the regret away, but to recognize that it has no place in this moment. The breath is the bridge, the natural rhythm that carries us from the past into the freedom of now. This is not a technique to be mastered, but a gentle return to what is already true. The monk who spilled his tea did not dwell on the spill. He simply picked up the cup, wiped the table, and moved on, his mind unburdened. The spill was water on wood. It did not stain the wood. Your regrets are like that spilled water, temporary, passing, and never meant to be held. When you breathe into the regret and release it with your exhale, you're not creating something new. You are remembering who you are beneath the weight. You are remembering that you are already free. This is the heart of the practice, to live fully in the present, not as a goal to reach, but as the natural expression of being. There is no need to wait for a better moment, for a clearer mind, or for the regret to vanish on its own. The moment you release it, you are already there. So breathe in. Feel the regret's shape. Breathe out. Let it go. It is that simple. It is that profound. The past was never your home. The present is where you belong. And in this belonging, there is no need to hold on. Releasing the past allows us to live fully with impermanence. As the morning mist rises from the river, it does not cling to the shape of the night. It flows, it shifts, it dissolves into the light without resistance. This is the natural rhythm of life, the constant movement beneath the surface of what we call solid. We often mistake this movement for loss, as if the river must stay still to be beautiful. But the river's beauty is in its flow, not in its stillness. Impermanence is not the absence of something, it is the very presence of life itself. The way the breeze shifts, leaves turn, thoughts arise and fade. To see it as loss is to miss the truth of the present moment, where everything is already as it should be. Consider the steam rising from a cup of tea. It gathers, it swirls, it thins and vanishes into the air. You do not feel a sense of loss as it disappears. You simply notice its presence, then its absence, without judgment. This is how we meet impermanence in our own lives. The clinging we feel, whether to a feeling, a thought, a person, or even an idea of how things should be, is the root of our struggle. It is the part of us that says, "This must stay the same," when the only constant is change. What are you holding on to right now that is already shifting? Perhaps it is a worry about tomorrow, a memory of yesterday, or the way a relationship feels today. Notice it. Feel the subtle tension of that grip. Then soften into the awareness of what is changing. The weather outside is shifting from sun to cloud. Your breath moves in and out, each inhalation different from the last. A thought about work arises and then dissolves. Simply notice this flow, without needing to hold it or push it away. This is not resignation, it is acceptance. It is meeting life as it is, not as we wish it to be. In this noticing, you discover a quiet strength. You realize that the ground beneath your feet, the awareness that has held all these changing moments, has never moved. It is the same calm riverbed beneath the flowing water. When you stop fighting the river, you can simply be carried by its current. The weight of clinging falls away not through force, but through the gentle recognition that all things change. This is not a philosophy. It is the simple truth of your breath, your body, your moment. You don't have to solve impermanence. You only need to see it clearly. As the steam rising from the tea, as the clouds passing through the sky. And in that seeing, you find a deep, quiet freedom. This acceptance is the quiet seed from which compassion grows. When you see that everything is changing, your own thoughts, the world around you, the very nature of experience, you realize that suffering comes not from change itself, but from the resistance to it. Letting go of the struggle, you open to the shared human experience of change. You see the other person's worry not as a problem to fix, but as a moment in their own flow, just as your own worries are moments in yours. This is how liberation becomes a living path. It begins not with grand gestures, but with the simple, courageous act of noticing the steam, the cloud, the breath, and releasing the need to hold it still. In that release, you find not loss, but the boundless freedom of the present moment. And this acceptance fuels the path of compassion, where every changing moment becomes a doorway to deeper connection. As the gentle current of impermanence flows through our awareness, we discover a profound shift. What was once a heavy weight of separation begins to soften, not through force, but through the quiet recognition that we are already part of the same river. This recognition is the fertile ground where compassion, the true path to liberation, takes root. It is not a distant ideal, but the natural expression of seeing the shared humanity in every moment, dissolving the illusion that we are separate islands. When we truly see the suffering of another as our own, the boundary between me and them dissolves like mist in the morning sun. This is the heart of liberation, not escaping the world, but embracing it completely, without the barrier of self-centeredness. Consider the difference between compassion and pity. Pity often carries a subtle distance, a feeling that the other person is below us, in a place we are fortunate not to be. It is like standing on a hill looking down at someone struggling in the mud. Compassion, however, is the feeling of being on the same path, feeling the mud beneath our own feet, sharing the same need for warmth and safety. It is not looking down, but looking across the shared landscape, recognizing the same longing for peace within us both. This shift from pity to compassion is the key to liberation. It moves us from a position of judgment or separation to one of profound connection. Let us practice this shift right now, gently. Close your eyes if it feels comfortable, or soften your gaze. Bring to mind someone you find difficult, perhaps someone who has caused you pain or whom you judge harshly. Feel the familiar tightness, the resistance. Now, for just 30 seconds, without judgment or expectation, send them this simple wish: may you be free from suffering. May you find peace. Feel the quality of this wish. Is it heavy with resentment, or light with a wish for their well-being? Notice how the tightness begins to ease, even slightly, as you extend this goodwill. This tiny act of sending goodwill is not about changing them, but about changing your own heart. It is the practice of dissolving the illusion of separation, one small, intentional breath at a time. It is the seed of liberation planted in the present moment. This practice, repeated with patience, begins to transform the very structure of our awareness. The habitual patterns of self-centeredness, the constant pull towards me and mine, start to lose their grip. We begin to see that the suffering we witness, the joy we share, is not outside of us, but woven into the same fabric. The separation was never real. It was a thought, a habit. Compassion reveals the truth. And as this truth takes root within us, it naturally expresses as kindness in action. It flows outwards effortlessly, not as a duty, but as the natural expression of having seen the oneness that was always there. This compassion, born of liberation, becomes the very way we move through the world. planting seeds of peace wherever we go. The morning light spills softly across the wooden floor, quiet as a breath held in meditation. Here, in this simple moment, we see the essence of kindness, not as a distant ideal, but as the quiet current flowing beneath the surface of ordinary life. It is not passive concern, nor a gentle nod to the suffering of others. True kindness is an active force, a liberation that releases both the giver and the receiver from the heavy chains of self-centeredness. When we offer a warm word, a helping hand, or simply a patient presence, we break through the illusion of separation. We feel the weight of our own smallness lift, and in that same moment, we offer the same lightness to another. This is the liberation inherent in kindness. It dissolves the barrier we build between ourselves and the world, revealing the shared warmth that has always been there. Consider the old Zen master who served tea to a weary traveler. The traveler, burdened with heavy packs and a troubled mind, sat down without a word. The master poured the tea slowly, his hands steady, his attention entirely present in the act of pouring, not in the expectation of thanks or recognition. The traveler felt the warmth of the cup, the quiet care in the gesture, and the tightness in his chest eased. He left feeling lighter, carrying a spark of that calm. The master, too, felt the deep peace of the act, his own mind settled, free from the need to be seen as generous. The kindness flowed, unasked for, unclaimed, and both hearts were transformed. This is not about grand gestures, but the profound shift that happens in the smallest, most ordinary offering. Reflect on your own life. When did a small kindness change your day? Perhaps it was a colleague holding the door, a neighbor checking on you when you were sick, or a stranger offering directions with a smile. Remember the feeling, the sudden lightness, the unexpected warmth, the sense of being truly seen for a moment. That moment was not just given to you, it was a thread of liberation woven through your own heart. It reminded you that you are not alone, that care is possible, and that connection is always available, even in the quietest moments. Now, practice this liberation. Choose one small, unexpected act of kindness today. It could be paying for the coffee of the person behind you, leaving a kind note for a coworker, or simply offering your full attention to someone speaking to you. Do it without any thought of what you might get in return. Do not expect thanks, acknowledgement, or even a smile. Let the act flow from your awareness of the moment, not from a desire to be seen as kind. Feel the difference in your own heart as you release the need for something in return. Notice how the space where self-centeredness once resided now holds a gentle openness. This quiet practice of giving without expectation is the heart of liberation. It is not about adding something to your life, but about releasing the tight grip of self. When kindness becomes a natural expression of our awareness, not a deliberate effort to be good, it transforms the very ground of our daily existence. It flows effortlessly, like water finding its level, because it arises from a place of non-striving, from simply being present with what is. This is how kindness becomes the path, not a destination, dissolving the illusion of separation with every gentle, unasked for moment. This is how liberation reveals itself in the ordinary, in the unexpected, in the quiet act of simply being there for another. This is how kindness flows from non-striving in daily life. Compassion, as we've seen, is the gentle warmth that dissolves separation, revealing the shared humanity beneath all seeming difference. This warmth, active and present, becomes the very ground from which true action arises. Now, consider this. When we act from that place of deep connection, what happens to the constant effort to make things happen, to control outcomes, to force a particular result? True liberation, the freedom we seek, does not come from pushing harder. It comes from releasing the grip on what must be achieved. Action without striving for results is effortless and free, like water flowing downhill, not against the current. It is the natural expression of compassion, not a separate effort to be achieved. The mind that is not striving is not burdened by worry about success or failure. It simply meets the task at hand with full attention, without the shadow of future expectation. Imagine an old monk in a quiet garden, polishing a single wooden bowl. His hands move with steady rhythm. His eyes on the grain of the wood, the feel of the cloth. He does not think, "This must become perfect," or "I must finish quickly." He simply polishes, fully present with the bowl, the cloth, the light. There is no striving for a perfect shine. No worry about whether the bowl is good enough. His action is complete in itself, free from the weight of wanting it to be different. This is the essence of non-striving. It is not laziness or indifference. It is the profound understanding that the task itself is the purpose. The outcome is already contained within the act of doing it well. The bowl is being polished, and that is enough. Pause now and gently reflect. What are you forcing in your life right now? Is it a conversation that must go a certain way? Is it a project that must be finished by tomorrow? Is it a relationship that must change? Notice the subtle tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, the mental chatter about how it should be. This forcefulness is the opposite of liberation. It creates a barrier between you and the present moment, between you and the simple act of being. It is the very thing that keeps us bound. Practice this now, gently. Choose one small task today, something ordinary like washing the dishes, walking to the mailbox, or simply breathing. Do it with full attention, but without focusing on the outcome. Do not think, "I must get this done quickly," or "this must be perfect." Simply feel the water on your hands. Notice the sound of the dish. Observe the path beneath your feet. Let go of the need for the task to be completed in a certain way or to produce a specific result. Be with the action itself, as the monk was with the bowl. This is not about doing less. It is about doing with a different kind of presence. A presence free from the burden of striving. When we stop forcing, when we release the need to control the outcome, we discover something remarkable. The effort to be free, to achieve awakening, dissolves. What remains is the simple, clear awareness of this moment, right here, right now. This non-striving is not an empty space, it is the fullness of being present. It is the very path that leads to the awakening that is already here, not waiting for some future achievement. It is the quiet realization that liberation is not something we build, but something we cease not to see. This quiet release is the gateway to the present moment awakening. We often imagine awakening as a distant shore, a destination we must reach through long practice. But the Dharma reveals a simpler truth. Awakening is not a future state. It is not something we must build or earn. It is already here, now, in the ordinary pulse of this very moment. The illusion of needing to become awakened is itself the barrier. When we relax into the present, without grasping for a future state or regretting the past, liberation dawns in the quiet space between thoughts. This is not abstract philosophy, it is the direct experience of being fully alive, right where we are. Consider the monk pouring tea. He does not pour the tea while thinking of the next task, the next person he must serve, or the next moment he hopes will be more peaceful. His hands move with gentle attention, feeling the warmth of the cup, hearing the soft sound of water, seeing the steam rising in the morning light. There is no need to make the moment better, or to prepare for a different one. The tea is simply tea. The steam simply steam. The warmth simply warmth. This is the natural state of awareness, free from the burden of striving. It is the quiet presence we began to explore in the practice of kindness, where we dissolved separation through unexpected attention. It is the release of control we discovered in letting go of the need to shape outcomes. Now, this release is not a distant possibility. It is the very ground of this moment, available without effort. Pause now, not to think, but to simply be. What is the most vivid sensation you're experiencing right this moment? Perhaps it is the coolness of the air on your skin, the soft hum of a distant sound, the gentle pressure of your body against the chair. Do not search for something extraordinary. Notice what is already here, clear and immediate. Practice naming it softly within your awareness. See the light on your hands. Hear the quiet rhythm of your breath. Feel the earth supporting you. This is not a technique to master. It is a simple return to what is already true. When you name the sound of a bird outside, or the texture of your clothing, you are not creating awakening, you are recognizing it, right here, as it is. This practice dissolves the separation between me and this moment. It reveals that compassion is not something we add to life later. It is the natural expression of being fully present with what is. The kindness that liberates is not a future act. It is the warmth of your attention right now. As you notice the steam rising from your cup, the sound of the wind, the feeling of your own breath, it is the quiet realization that there is nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, but to be here, fully awake. This realization integrates all previous teachings into daily life. The quiet kindness dissolving separation. The release of striving into the present moment. These are not separate paths. They are the same path. Walking in the ordinary, waking up in the ordinary. As you continue to practice this simple awareness, you will find that liberation is not a goal to reach, but the very ground of your being, revealed in every breath, every sound, every sensation of this present moment. The path of compassion is not ahead. It is here, now, waiting for you to notice. In the gentle space of this very moment, where the river of awareness flows without resistance, we find the true nature of connection. You may recall from the previous chapter that liberation is not a distant shore to be reached, but the natural state of being fully present right here, right now. This effortless presence dissolves the illusion of separation, revealing that compassion is not something we create, but the very fabric of our shared existence, now. We bring this awakened awareness into the sacred ground of our relationships, where the most profound healing and transformation occur. Consider the simple act of listening. How often do we hear the words spoken, but our mind is already crafting a response, judging the tone, or preparing to defend our position? This inner chatter creates a wall between us and the other person, turning conversation into a subtle battle. Judgment, even unspoken, carries a weight that tightens the heart and severs the thread of genuine connection. True listening, however, is a radical act of liberation. It means hearing not just the words, but the person behind them, without the need to fix, change, or control the moment. When we listen without judgment, the very fabric of conflict begins to unravel. The other person feels seen, and in that seeing, the tension dissolves, creating a space where true connection can breathe. Imagine a monk walking by a river with a student who is deeply upset about a conflict with a friend. The student speaks passionately, voice trembling with frustration. The monk does not offer advice, nor does he try to solve the problem. He simply sits, his eyes calm and open, his entire being present with the student's words. He hears the anger, the hurt, the fear beneath the words. He doesn't interrupt, doesn't judge the student's feelings, doesn't jump to fix it. He simply listens, fully and without agenda. After the student finishes, the monk says nothing. The student feels heard, understood, and the storm within them begins to settle. The conflict didn't disappear, but the connection remained intact, because the space between them was not filled with judgment or the need to be right. This is mindful communication as liberation. Reflect now on your own moments. When did you interrupt someone without meaning to? Perhaps in a hurry, or caught up in your own thoughts. You cut off a friend sharing something important. Notice the subtle shift in your own heart when you realize you were not truly listening. This awareness is the first step. The practice is simple yet profound. Choose one conversation today. Set aside your internal commentary. Listen fully to one person without planning your response. Hear their words, their pauses, the emotion in their voice. Let your mind rest in the sound of their presence, not in your next word. This is not passive silence, it is active, compassionate presence. When we practice this deep listening, something remarkable happens. Resentment, that heavy stone we carry from past misunderstandings, begins to loosen its grip. It doesn't vanish through force or grand effort, but naturally as the space for genuine connection opens. The need to be right, to fix, to control, simply falls away in the quiet flow of true attention. This mindful communication releases resentment naturally, not as an achievement, but as the effortless expression of the awakened heart already present within us. It is the very ground of our relationships transformed, moment by moment, into the living expression of liberation. In the quiet space between breaths, as you settle into this moment, remember the gentle truth we shared. Liberation in relationships blossoms not from grand gestures, but from the simple, profound act of seeing clearly. This is the next step beyond deep listening, where the separation we feel dissolves, not by speaking, but by simply allowing another to be exactly as they are, without the veil of our own story. Judgment, that sharp, familiar edge in our perception, is not a gift of wisdom, but a shadow cast by the ego. It arises when we cling to our fixed ideas of how someone should be, how they should act, how they should fit into our world. This clinging creates a wall, and we mistake that wall for reality. When we see without judgment, we step beyond the ego's narrow view. We see the person, not the label we've placed upon them. We see the human, not the role they play in our narrative. This is not passive acceptance, it is active, liberated presence. It is the natural state of being fully awake to the other, right here, right now. Consider the old Zen master who served tea to a visitor. The visitor, impatient, snapped a criticism about the tea's temperature. The master, without a word, simply poured another cup, his hands calm, his eyes holding no trace of the visitor's sharpness. He saw the frustration in the visitor, not as a personal attack, but as a temporary cloud passing through a clear sky. He did not label the visitor as rude or impatient. He saw the person, the moment, the tea. The master's presence was the water that washed away the judgment, revealing the shared humanity beneath the surface. In that simple act, he embodied liberation in the ordinary. So take this moment to reflect. What judgment did you hold about someone today? Perhaps it was a fleeting thought about a colleague's tone, a family member's choice, or a stranger's actions. Notice it without harshness, simply as it is. Then, practice. Find one person right now, someone you might easily label, a hurried cashier, a friend with differing views, a loved one's habit. For 1 minute, let the label drop. See only the shape of their face, the sound of their voice, the presence of their being, without adding your story. Notice the space that opens when you stop naming and start seeing. Feel the subtle shift in your own heart, the softening of the edge you carried. This practice is not about changing others, but about releasing the burden you carry within. It is the quiet, radical act of stepping out of the ego's prison of judgment. And as you release that burden, you naturally begin to release the resentment that often hides behind it. The space where judgment once stood now holds room for something else, a deeper understanding, a gentler heart. Releasing resentment builds the foundation for compassion. In the quiet space between words, where unspoken tensions linger like dust on a shelf, resentment often takes root. It feels like a necessary armor, a shield against hurt. But this is the illusion. Resentment is a poison we drink, hoping to hurt others, yet it only poisons our own well-being. We hold on to the memory of a harsh word, a broken promise, a perceived slight, and in doing so, we bind ourselves tighter to the very pain we wish to escape. This clinging is not strength, it is a slow suffocation of the heart. Consider this. Resentment thrives in the space where we refuse to see the human being behind the action. When we hold anger toward another, we often forget they, too, are caught in their own waves of confusion and pain. Liberation begins not with demanding change from them, but with releasing the grip within ourselves. It starts with a simple, honest reflection. Who do you need to forgive, including yourself? Not for their sake alone, but for the deep peace that waits on the other side of this release. We forgive not because they deserve it, but because we deserve to be free. Imagine a moment with a neighbor. You've left your keys at their house, and they returned them with a sharp, impatient tone. The sting lingers. Instead of replaying the exchange or planning a retort, try this. Sit quietly. Feel the tightness in your chest, the heat of the memory. Breathe into that feeling, not to push it away, but to acknowledge it with kindness. As you breathe, silently offer a wish. May you be free from this difficulty. May your heart find ease. No grand gesture, just a soft breath, a silent offering. This is not condoning the action, but dissolving the poison within you. The neighbor's tone remains unchanged, but your inner landscape shifts. The heavy weight of resentment lifts, replaced by a quiet space where true connection might one day bloom. This practice is simple, yet profound. It requires no special place, no long hours of meditation. It begins with one breath, one moment of choosing compassion over the old habit of holding on. When you breathe into the resentment and offer that silent wish, you are not forgetting what happened. You are refusing to let it define your present. You are choosing to drink from the well of your own boundless compassion instead of the bitter cup of resentment. In that moment, you reclaim your peace. So take a breath now. Feel any tension in your body. Breathe into it. Then whisper silently, without judgment, "May you be free?" This small act of releasing the poison within us is the very ground where liberation in relationship takes root. It is the quiet turning point where the heart, once clenched, begins to open. This release creates space for freedom in connection. In the quiet space between breaths, where the mind settles like dust in still air, true connection reveals itself. It is not found in the tightening grip of expectation, nor in the need for another to mirror our own hopes. It blooms instead in the soft openness of presence, where we meet each other without demanding a specific outcome. This is the essence of freedom within relationship, releasing the invisible chains we weave around others. Believing they must be different, must say the right thing, must make us feel safe in a particular way. When we let go of that demand, the space between us becomes a field of possibility, not a battlefield of unmet needs. Consider the simple moment of sharing tea with a friend. The cup is warm in your hands, the steam rising gently. You speak of a small worry, not to fix it, not to be fixed, but simply to share the feeling as it is. Your friend listens, not with the intention of solving it, but with the quiet ease of being fully there. No words are needed to fill the pause. The connection deepens not because the worry was resolved, but because both of you were present without the weight of needing it to be otherwise. This is the zen of connection, the tea shared, the silence held, the feeling offered freely, without the hidden ask for reassurance or approval. True connection happens without attachment to outcomes, It is the space where the heart breathes. Reflect now on your own experience. When did you feel truly free in a relationship? Was it perhaps in a moment of shared silence, where no words were needed, and the connection felt effortless? Or maybe in a conversation where you spoke a simple truth, like "I felt hurt when you left" without saying, and the other person simply acknowledged it without defensiveness or immediate solution. That moment of unburdened sharing, where the need for approval dissolved, where the only thing that mattered was the authentic feeling itself, that was freedom. It felt like lightness, like the first deep breath after holding your breath for too long. Now, practice this freedom in your next small interaction. Choose one authentic feeling you hold within you. It might be a quiet joy, a gentle concern, or simply a sense of gratitude. Find a moment to share it with someone you trust, not to seek their agreement or fix the feeling, but simply to offer it as a gift of your true self. Say it plainly. "I felt a little hopeful when we talked earlier," or "I'm noticing I feel a bit tired today." Say it without the soft plea for "Do you feel that too?" or "Am I being silly?" Just speak the feeling and then breathe, releasing the need for their reaction. This simple act dissolves the old habit of seeking external validation and plants a seed of authentic presence within the relationship. This freedom in connection, this unburdened presence, prepares us for the deeper inner work. It is the foundation where the heart, no longer straining to control the other, can finally turn inward with the same gentle attention, ready to see the patterns that still bind, with the clarity born of true connection. As we move gently from the unburdened presence we cultivated in releasing resentment and demands, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of another profound practice. Here, we meet the raw energy of difficult emotions not as enemies to be fought or hidden, but as natural currents within the river of our being. The Dharma teaches us clearly, emotions are energy to be observed, not controlled. When we tense against a wave of anger or fear, we create a second wave of struggle within. This only tightens the knot, making the energy feel heavier, more dangerous. Instead, imagine the emotion as water in a cup. If you hold the cup tightly, water spills. But if you hold it gently, the water remains whole, and you can see its movement clearly. This is the heart of skillful work with difficult emotions. Consider a moment today. Perhaps a sharp word from a colleague stirred frustration, or a thought of future worry tightened your chest. In that instant, did you try to push it away? Did you say, "Stop feeling this," or "I shouldn't feel this way"? That very act of suppression is the barrier we now work with. It is the effort to control the energy that creates the suffering. The practice begins not with changing the emotion, but with changing our relationship to it. Sit softly with whatever arises. Notice the physical sensation, the heat in your jaw, the tightness in your chest, the flutter in your stomach. Feel it in your body without naming it anger or fear for 60 seconds. Simply feel the energy as pure sensation, like the warmth of sunlight or the coolness of air. Do not chase it away. Do not welcome it. Just allow it to be present, observed without judgment. This small act of non-resistance is revolutionary. It dissolves the illusion that the emotion must be managed, controlled, or even understood immediately. It simply allows the energy to flow through us, as water flows through a channel, not as a dammed-up flood. Reflect now, gently. What emotion did you try to suppress today? Was it impatience during a slow line? A flicker of sadness when remembering someone? A surge of anxiety about a task? Notice where it settled in your body. Not what it was called, but where it lived. That location holds the key. Now, try it. Take one deep breath. Bring your attention to the physical sensation of that emotion right now, wherever it resides. Feel its texture, its temperature, its movement. Do not label it. Do not analyze it. Just feel it in your body for 60 seconds. Breathe into that space. Allow the energy to be exactly as it is, without adding the extra layer of resistance. You may find the sensation shifts, softens, or simply flows through you as you stop fighting it. This is not about becoming emotionless. It is about being fully present with the truth of what is, without adding a second layer of struggle. This practice, repeated in moments of difficulty, transforms how we relate to our inner landscape. It dissolves the fear that emotions are dangerous or wrong. It reveals that beneath the surface energy lies a deep well of stillness, a natural clarity that was always present, obscured only by our resistance. The very act of observing without control becomes the seed of liberation. It is the quiet, unshakable wisdom that arises when we stop trying to be something other than what we are in this moment. This skill transforms fear into wisdom. In the quiet moments between breaths, fear often arrives unannounced, a sudden chill or tightness in the chest. We may feel it as a barrier, a wall blocking our path. But the Dharma teaches us something different. Fear is not an enemy to defeat, but a messenger revealing what we are holding on to too tightly. It shows us the very thing we cling to, the need for safety, the desire for control, the fear of being unseen. When we meet this fear with a gentle presence, not resistance, we begin to see its true nature. Wisdom does not push fear away. It looks deeply and sees its emptiness, understanding that fear arises from our attachment to a fixed idea of how things should be. It is not a solid thing, but a passing cloud in the sky of awareness. Imagine a monk sitting in his small, simple room during a sudden storm. Rain hammers the roof, wind howls, and the earth shakes. His heart might race, his mind might race with worries about the storm's damage. Yet he does not flinch. He feels the vibration in the floor, the sound of the rain, but he does not grasp at the fear. He simply sits with the sensation, breathing into the tightness. He observes the fear without naming it an enemy, without trying to make it disappear. In that stillness, the fear loses its power. It is no longer a storm to weather, but a wave to watch. He realizes the fear was not about the storm at all, but about his clinging to the idea that his room should always be safe, dry, and quiet. The wisdom that arises is not the absence of fear, but the clear seeing that the fear itself is empty of a fixed reality. It was never a wall, only a shadow cast by our own grasping. So, take a moment now. What fear is holding you back right now? Perhaps it is the fear of speaking up, of trying something new, of being judged, or of loss. Feel that sensation in your body. Acknowledge it softly, as you would a friend who is troubled. Say to yourself, "I see you, fear." Then, gently ask, what is the truth here? Not what you imagine might happen, but what is actually true in this moment. Is the fear based on a story you've told yourself, or on a reality you can see? Often, the truth is simpler than the story. The truth might be that you are safe right now, or that your worth is not tied to others' opinions, or that this moment is just a moment, not a permanent state. The practice is not to eliminate fear, but to step out of the story it creates and meet the present moment with clear eyes. This is the turning point. When we stop fighting the fear and instead look at what it is pointing to, we transform it. The fear no longer pulls us into the past or future. It becomes a doorway. We see that our clinging was the real obstacle, not the fear itself. The tightness in the chest dissolves as we recognize the emptiness of the fear's grip. We are no longer held back by what we imagine might happen, but free to move with clarity in what is. When we no longer measure ourselves against others, when we stop comparing our journey to someone else's, a different kind of freedom emerges. The need to be better, to be seen as better, falls away. And in that space, we find the unburdened presence we began to cultivate in the previous chapter. It is the same ground, now deepened by the wisdom of meeting fear with openness. Notice how often comparison whispers in the quiet spaces of your day, drawing your gaze away from what is to what might be elsewhere. It begins as a small thought, a fleeting glance at another's path, another's achievement, another's seeming ease. But this habit, this subtle tug of the ego, is not a helpful guide. It is a trap, a thief stealing your present moment, the only place where true peace and clarity can be found. Comparison feeds on the illusion that your worth is measured against others, yet it only deepens the sense of lack within you. It is not about the other person, it is about the unspoken need within yourself to be different, to be better, to be seen as sufficient. This need, this comparison, is the very root of the inner obstacle we've been gently working with. Consider the simple act of a gardener tending their plot. They do not pause to wonder how the neighbor's roses bloom, or if their soil is richer. They feel the earth beneath their hands. Watch the specific needs of each plant in their own care, and breathe with the rhythm of their work. Their attention is fully present, not scattered by the imagined perfection of another's garden. This is not indifference, it is profound engagement with what is right before them. The gardener does not compare because they are fully present in their own unique unfolding. In the same way, when you notice the subtle pull of comparison, when you find yourself thinking, they have more, they are further along, they seem happier, do not judge yourself for the thought. Simply recognize it as a passing cloud in the sky of your mind. Acknowledge the whisper of the ego without giving it more weight. This is your gentle practice. The next time you feel that familiar tug, that comparison thought arising, pause for just one breath. Feel the weight of the thought, then let it go like a leaf drifting down a stream. Return your attention to the simple, grounding rhythm of your breath. Inhale, feeling the cool air enter your body. Exhale, releasing the tension you may not have known you were holding. This small act of returning to the breath is not an escape. It is a homecoming. It is the direct path back to the present moment, where you are already complete, where you are exactly where you need to be. It is not about stopping thoughts, but about changing your relationship to them, seeing them as transient, not true. Reflect now with gentle curiosity. When did you compare yourself to others today? Was it in the quiet moment before sleep, looking at a social media feed? Was it in the meeting, noticing someone else's confident voice? Was it while watching your child excel, feeling a flicker of doubt about your own progress? Simply notice without judgment. See the pattern. Then, as you notice, bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. Feel the air moving through your nostrils. This is your anchor, your refuge, right here and now. This practice, this simple return to the breath when comparison arises, is the key. It dissolves the illusion of separation. It releases the tight grip of the ego's need for comparison. It allows the natural clarity and peace that reside within you to emerge, unburdened. As you release this habit of comparison, you step into a deeper freedom. You stop measuring yourself against a shifting horizon and begin to see your own path with fresh eyes. This release brings peace in uncertainty. In this moment of stillness, dear friend, let us gently settle into the space where answers often feel scarce and the future remains unseen. We carry within us a quiet, persistent urge to pin down the shape of things, to map out the path ahead with certainty. Yet the very ground of our liberation rests not in the illusion of control, but in the fertile, open field of uncertainty itself. Uncertainty is not the enemy we fear. It is the essential soil from which all possibility grows. When we stop fighting the unknown, when we stop clutching at the illusion of a fixed, predictable world, we discover a profound freedom. We begin to see that the need to control what lies beyond our power, the outcomes of others, the course of time, the weather of the heart, is the very source of our unrest. What are you trying to hold steady that is, by its very nature, flowing like water? What future event do you cling to with tightness, mistaking its imagined shape for reality? Consider the story of a young monk walking beside a swift river. He was anxious about crossing to the other side, worrying about the current's strength, the slippery stones, the potential for falling. His teacher simply said, "Sit by the water and watch." The monk sat, his anxiety still present, but he stopped trying to force the river to be calm. He simply observed its constant flow, its natural rhythm, its undeniable movement. He noticed the stones beneath the surface, the way the water parted around them, the way it carried leaves without resistance. He did not seek to control the river. He learned to be present within its current. In that simple observation, his anxiety softened. He saw the river not as a threat to overcome, but as the natural expression of its own being. He crossed with ease because he had stopped fighting the water. This is the practice of uncertainty, to sit with the river of life, not trying to still its flow, but finding peace in the very act of being present with it, right here, right now. So take a breath now, as you sit in your own space. Bring to mind one question that lingers unresolved within you, perhaps about a relationship, a path ahead, or a personal challenge. Feel the familiar pull to find an answer, to make it certain. Now, gently release that pull. Do not seek the answer. Simply hold the question in your awareness, as you would hold a small, smooth stone in your palm. Notice the space around it, the quiet hum of your breath, the softness of the air. Feel the tightness of the need for certainty dissolve, even slightly, as you allow the question to simply be, without your effort to fix it. It is not about finding the answer, it is about resting in the question itself, knowing that the answer, if it comes, will arise from this very place of openness. This is the practice, to sit with the unresolved, not as a problem to be solved, but as a doorway to peace. This deep peace, found not in the absence of uncertainty, but within its very embrace, dissolves the illusion of separation. It allows the heart to soften, the mind to open, and the true nature of interdependence to reveal itself. In this clear seeing, we understand that we are not isolated islands, but rather the river flows through us and we flow through the river. This peace allows us to see interdependence clearly. As the gentle rhythm of your breath settles within you, notice how the river of awareness flows without needing to hold on to any single thought or identity. This is the natural state we return to when we release the grip of comparison. Now, let us gently explore the very ground of this awareness, the illusion of a separate self, the sense of me as something distinct, solid, and permanent, is not reality but a story we tell ourselves, woven from memories, roles, and the constant chatter of the mind. It is a useful fiction for navigating the world, yet it creates a wall where none exists. Look deeply. What remains when you set aside your name, your job, your past, your future? What is left of you when the story dissolves? You are not a fixed point, but the very flow itself, the river of life moving through you as you move through it. This is the profound truth of interconnection. Consider the Zen master's simple teaching about a wave. When a wave rises on the ocean, it seems separate, distinct, with its own shape and motion. Yet, the wave is not separate from the ocean. It is the ocean expressing itself in a particular form. The wave does not exist without the ocean, and the ocean is not separate from the wave. The wave's me is a temporary expression of the whole. Similarly, your sense of self is not a separate island, but a momentary pattern within the vast, flowing river of existence. The wave feels separate until it returns to the ocean. The me feels separate until it recognizes its unity with the whole. So, take a moment now to gently reflect. Notice the next thought that arises. I am tired. I need this. I don't like that. Pause softly. See the me in that thought. Do not judge it. Simply observe it as a small ripple on the surface of your awareness. Now, without forcing, let your attention soften and expand. Feel the space around that thought, the vastness of the awareness holding it. See that me not as a separate entity, but as a part of the larger whole, like the wave seeing itself as part of the ocean. Feel the warmth of the sun, the sound of the wind, the quiet hum of the world, all flowing through and around you. This is not a theory, it is the direct experience of your own being, already interconnected. The me you notice is not the center of the universe, but a single note in the symphony of life. This simple practice reveals the nature of reality. It is not empty of meaning, but empty of a separate, independent self. It is full of relationship, full of flow. When you see the me as part of the whole, the illusion of separation dissolves, and you step into the seamless movement of life. This insight is not something you achieve. It is the natural recognition of what has always been true. It is the moment the wave realizes it is the ocean. This is the direct experience of emptiness, not as void, but as boundless interconnection. This insight reveals emptiness in action. You've glimpsed the river's flow, the gentle current where separation dissolves into seamless movement. Now, let us deepen this knowing into the very action of living. Emptiness is not a void to be feared, but the very space where all things arise and connect. It means that every thought, every gesture, every cup of tea you make does not come from a separate, independent self, but flows from an endless web of causes and conditions. This coffee you drink, it requires the sun on distant fields, the careful hands of farmers, the rain that nourished the beans, the hands that harvested them, the ships that carried them, the hands that roasted and ground them, the water drawn from a well, the cup shaped by a potter, and the very air you breathe as you lift it. There is no single point where it begins or ends. It simply is, woven from countless threads, each essential, each inseparable. This is the heart of emptiness in action. It is not a passive state, but the active realization that we are already part of this vast, flowing network. When we see this, our approach to work shifts profoundly. We no longer see tasks as isolated duties performed by a separate me against the world. Instead, we see the work itself as a moment of connection, a participation in the whole. The pressure to be perfect, to stand out, to be the sole author of the outcome, begins to soften. We work not for personal gain or recognition, but with a quiet gratitude for the intricate dance that makes the work possible. We feel the care of the farmer in the bean, the patience of the roaster in the grind, the shared effort in the moment of serving. The work becomes a practice of thankfulness, not just a chore. It becomes a way of honoring the vast, unseen support that sustains us all. So, take one small task today. Perhaps it is making your morning tea. As you pour the water, feel the warmth of the kettle, the sound of the water, the shape of the cup in your hands. Now, gently bring to mind the threads. Feel the sun on the tea leaves, the hands of the growers, the rain that fed the plants, the journey to your kitchen, the care of the person who prepared it. Do not strain to imagine every detail. Simply acknowledge the connection. Notice how this awareness changes the simple act. It is no longer just a routine. It becomes a moment of meeting the world, of recognizing the interdependence that is always present, even in the smallest gesture. This is the practice. It is not about adding something new, but about seeing what is already here, clear and alive. It is the wave realizing it is not separate from the ocean, but the very movement of the ocean itself, flowing through every ripple. Reflect on this as you move through your day? How does this seeing change how you meet your tasks? Does it bring a sense of lightness, a deeper connection to the people and the earth involved, a quiet confidence that you are part of something much larger and more sustaining than any individual effort? Does it ease the burden of having to carry everything alone? This is not a distant philosophy, but the very texture of your life, moment by moment. It is the realization that liberation is not found in isolation, but in the open, interconnected flow of being. This understanding reveals the dance of interdependence. Imagine a single drop falling into still water. It creates ripples that spread, touching every part of the pond without distinction. Your actions, however small, are like that drop. They ripple through the fabric of life, connecting you to the trees that breathe the air you exhale, to the hands that prepare your food, to the quiet moments of peace shared with a neighbor. This is the profound truth of interdependence. There is no separate self acting upon a separate world. We are not isolated actors. We are the very movement of connection itself. Consider the simple act of sharing a cup of tea. The tea leaves grew in sunlight and rain, nourished by soil and the care of a farmer. The water was drawn from a well, carried by a river, and heated by a fire. Your hands held the cup, warmed by its heat, and the person receiving it felt the comfort of your gesture. The steam rose, carried by the air you both breathe, and the birds sang in the trees that shade the garden where this moment unfolded. Every element, earth, water, fire, air, intention, presence was woven together in that single, ordinary exchange. No part of this could exist alone. The tea, the cup, the warmth, the shared silence, all arise from the same interconnected dance. This is not a theory, it is the living reality of every breath you take. Now, as you move through your day, pause for a moment. Reflect gently. How did your small action affect others today? Perhaps you offered a kind word to a colleague, and their shoulders relaxed. Maybe you paused to let a car pass, and the driver smiled. Or simply, you took a deep breath, and the air carried that breath to the trees, which then released oxygen for someone else. Notice how these tiny ripples touch lives you may never see. Then, look around you. Notice one connection in your environment. See the way sunlight filters through the leaves of the tree outside your window, sharing warmth with the air, the soil, and the birds nesting in its branches. Hear the sound of distant laughter and feel how it connects to the shared space you inhabit. Feel the air moving through your lungs, a current that has flowed through countless living things before reaching you. This is not abstract. It is the tangible, breathing reality of your life. Practice this awareness without strain. Let it be a soft noticing, not an effort. When you see the wind stirring the grass, remember, it is the same wind that touches the ocean, the mountain, and the person walking home. When you feel the coolness of morning air, know it is the same air that cools the leaves, the stone, and the hands of a child. This simple practice dissolves the illusion of separation. You are not a separate self acting within a world. You are the world itself, moving, breathing, connecting in every moment. The boundaries you perceive are merely the edges of your own perception, not the nature of reality. This awareness dissolves fixed identity. It reveals that the self you thought was solid and separate is, in truth, a flowing current within the vast, interconnected ocean of life. There is no me apart from the us and the all. The wave is the ocean. The drop is the pond. And the dance continues, effortless and whole, in every breath, every ripple, every shared moment of ordinary grace. Notice how a single drop of water becomes part of the river without clinging to its origin. It flows, shaped by the landscape, the current, the rain, yet remains simply water. So too is identity. It is not a fixed stone you carry within you, but a current moving through the river of life. The tight grip on who you believe yourself to be, whether as the diligent worker, the quiet observer, the reliable friend, or even the seeker of awakening, creates a barrier. It separates you from the flow. Freedom arises not in becoming something new, but in releasing the illusion of a permanent self to be found or held. When you stop naming yourself and instead simply are, the world reveals itself without the filter of your rigid label. Consider your own holding. What identity label do you hold most tightly? Is it the one that defines your worth in the workplace? The one that colors your relationships? Or perhaps the quiet voice inside that says, "This is who I am"? It may feel like the only solid ground you have. Yet in truth, that ground shifts with every breath. Every interaction, every moment the wind changes. The label was never the truth. It was merely a temporary shape the river took for a passing season. Holding it too tightly makes the water stagnant, while letting go allows it to move with the natural current of life. Try this practice now. Do something small that doesn't require your usual identity. Not the role you play for others. Not the persona you feel you must maintain. Sing a simple song alone in your kitchen while washing dishes, or walk a different path home without planning your words. Notice the lightness that comes as you step outside the familiar script. There is no need to be the good listener or the efficient one in that moment. You are simply present, moving through space, breathing. This small act of unclinging is not about becoming someone else. It is about remembering that you were never confined to a single name. The self you thought was fixed dissolves, revealing only the open space where life flows freely. This is not a denial of experience, but a gentle release from the story we tell ourselves about it. When you stop needing to be the helper, the learner, or the one who understands, the space for pure awareness opens. You see the world as it is, without the distortion of your own clinging. The warmth of the morning sun, the sound of a bird, the touch of your own hand on a chair, these are felt directly, without the filter of "I am the one experiencing this." The river of awareness flows without resistance. This fluidity is not chaos, it is the natural state of reality. It is the understanding that we are not separate islands but the very water moving through the vast ocean of existence. When identity loosens its grip, awakening is no longer a distant goal to be achieved, but the simple, unbroken flow of life itself, rippling through every ordinary moment. This fluidity allows awakening to flow through all activities. Imagine the quiet rhythm of your morning routine. You rise, move through the house, perhaps walk to the kitchen for water. Often, this journey happens without notice. A familiar path traveled on autopilot while the mind wanders elsewhere. The water flows, the floor feels familiar underfoot, yet the moment itself remains unseen, unheld. This is where awakening meets the ordinary. The sacred does not wait for special occasions or distant mountains. It arises right here, in the space between one step and the next, when we cease to be absent from the simple act of being. As we saw in the previous chapter, the illusion of a separate self dissolves not through grand effort, but through gentle awareness of interconnected presence. Now, this awareness finds its most natural expression in the tasks we perform daily. When we wash a dish, walk a short distance, or stir a cup of tea, the act itself becomes the path. The water, the steps, the cup, these are not merely objects to be managed, but the very ground of our experience. Routine transforms into sacred practice, not by changing the task, but by changing our relationship to it. We stop seeing the walk to the kitchen as merely a means to an end, and instead, we become the walk itself. Consider the simple act of walking. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the subtle shift of weight, the contact of your foot with the floor, the gentle sway of your body as you move. Notice the air on your skin, the faint sounds of the house, the rhythm of your breath. This is not a special meditation. It is the ordinary life we have been living, now fully awake within it. The mind may still drift, but the practice is to gently return again and again to the feeling of the step, the warmth of the air, the quiet intention of moving forward. Do this for just one cycle. Walk to the kitchen, then stop. Feel the entire journey, not just the arrival. Let the sound of your footsteps, the coolness of the air, the gentle sway of your body be your entire world for that short span. Reflect on this for yourself. What task do you usually do on autopilot? Is it making coffee, brushing your teeth, or perhaps stepping off the bus? Notice the automatic quality, the way the mind is elsewhere while the body moves. Now, imagine doing it with full attention for just one cycle, not to perfect it, but simply to be present within it. Feel the weight of the coffee cup, the texture of the brush against your teeth, the shifting of your feet on the pavement. This is not about adding more to your day. It is about removing the veil of distraction that separates you from the richness already here. You may discover that the task itself, once seen clearly, holds a quiet beauty, the water flowing, the steam rising, the simple act of moving. These are not interruptions to life, but life itself, revealed. The joy is not in the destination, but in the fullness of the journey. This practice reveals joy in simplicity. As the river flows without clinging to its banks, so too does liberation arise within the ordinary current of your day. We often mistake simplicity for lack, believing it means giving up what we desire. Yet true simplicity is the opposite. It is the deep freedom found when we release the weight of excess, the constant striving for more. It is the quiet space that opens when we let go of the need to possess, to control, to be anything other than fully present here, now. This is not deprivation, but a gentle unfolding into the spaciousness of what already is. Consider the old Zen monk who washed rice in a simple bamboo bowl. He did not rush, nor did he seek some grand spiritual sign in the act. He simply felt the cool water, watched the grains swirl, and noticed the way sunlight fell across the bowl's edge. There was no grand purpose, only the fullness of the moment. He found joy not in the outcome of the washing, but in the quiet awareness of the water, the light, the simple act itself. We miss such moments constantly, caught in the rush of planning the next thing, lamenting what we lack, or chasing after a future happiness that never arrives. We miss the warmth of sunlight on our skin as we walk, the sound of water flowing in the tap, the simple taste of a single sip of tea. These are not small things, but the very ground of awakening. Gently ask yourself now, what simple joy did you miss today? Perhaps it was the quiet peace of morning air, the sound of bird song while waiting for coffee, the cool relief of water on your hands. Noticing it is not about adding something new, but about releasing the blinders of distraction. Take this moment to practice. Choose one simple pleasure. Feel the sun on your face for 30 seconds. Listen to the water flow from the tap. Taste the quiet stillness of your breath. Do not seek to hold it or to make it last. Simply allow it to be, fully and without judgment. In this small, intentional pause, you are not seeking awakening, you are already awake, simply being present. This practice reveals a profound truth. When we stop seeking joy in distant peaks or elaborate rituals, we discover it woven into the fabric of ordinary moments. The need to control, to shape life into something grander, begins to soften. We realize that true freedom is not found in having more, but in being fully here with what is. The river flows, the water is cool, the sun is warm. And in this simplicity, we are free. This freedom releases the need to control. In the quiet rhythm of daily life, a subtle shift happens when we stop clutching at the edges of what we think must be. We notice how often we try to shape the world, the moment, even the next breath, to fit a picture in our mind. This constant effort to control is the ego's quiet panic, a desperate attempt to shield itself from the natural uncertainty of life. It's like holding a handful of sand, watching the grains slip through our fingers while we tighten our grip. True freedom, however, lies not in forcing the sand to stay, but in the gentle release of that grip. It is surrender, not resignation, but an open-handed acceptance of what is. Letting go of the need to control is not weakness, it is the deep courage to trust the unfolding of life itself. Consider the old tea master, known for his perfect bowls of matcha. One morning, a student rushed in, flustered, wanting to show the master his new, elaborate schedule for the day's ceremonies. The master simply placed a bowl of steaming green tea before him, his hands calm, his gaze steady. The student, still thinking of his schedule, fumbled the bowl, spilling tea. The master said nothing, simply refilled the bowl and placed it gently back. The student, expecting correction, felt only the warmth of the cup in his hands, the steam rising, the quiet focus required just to hold it. The master's presence, his surrender to the simple act of sharing tea, revealed the lesson. Control was the spill, presence was the bowl, the schedule was unnecessary. The moment was enough. Reflect gently on this. What small thing did you try to control that slipped away, leaving you feeling unsettled? Perhaps it was a conversation you rehearsed, a plan you rigidly followed, or the exact way a task should unfold. Remember the quiet frustration when it didn't go as expected? Now, see it as a teaching. It was never about the outcome, but about the need to hold it tight. Today, choose one small thing to release. Not a major life decision, but something ordinary. Let the morning coffee brew without rushing it. Accept the weather as it is, without planning a change. Or simply notice the time without checking the clock. Allow the schedule to breathe, the outcome to be as it may. Feel the subtle release in your shoulders, the softening of your mind. This small act of surrender is not giving up, it is making space for life to flow through you. This surrender brings wisdom of surrender, It reveals that the very act of releasing control is the path to clarity, to the deep peace that comes from no longer fighting what is. It is the quiet knowing that liberation is not found in the future, but in the willingness to be fully present with what is, right here, right now. The next step unfolds naturally, without force, carried by the simple grace of this moment. In the quiet space between thoughts, when the mind releases its grip on what should be, a deep calm settles. This is the essence of surrender, not as defeat, but as alignment with the way things truly are. It is not giving up on life, but stepping fully into the reality of this very moment, just as it presents itself. We often mistake surrender for weakness, believing it means abandoning our efforts or our dreams. Yet true surrender is the opposite. It is the courageous act of stopping the internal struggle against what is happening right now. It is recognizing that resistance creates suffering, while acceptance allows the natural flow of life to guide us. Consider the simple act of washing dishes. The water is cold, the soap slips, a glass wobbles on the edge of the sink. In the old way, we might tense up, thinking, "This is wrong. It should be easier." We clutch at the idea of perfect, effortless washing. But when we gently let go of that expectation, when we simply feel the water, hear the clink of the glass, and notice the movement of our hands without judgment, the struggle dissolves. The bowl is cracked, but we don't need to fix it now. We can hold it gently as it is. This is surrender in the ordinary, the moment we stop fighting the cold water or the wobbling glass. Peace arises within the activity itself. Reflect on your own life. When did surrender feel like relief? Perhaps it was when you finally stopped arguing with a difficult situation and simply acknowledged it. Maybe it was letting go of the need to fix a relationship, breathing deeply instead of rehearsing your words. Or it could have been stepping back from a project that was causing you anxiety, trusting that things would unfold without your frantic control. In that moment of release, did you feel a lightening of the heart? A sense of being carried rather than carrying everything alone? That relief is the taste of liberation already present within you. Now, practice this wisdom in your next ordinary moment. Choose one small worry that has been lingering in your mind, perhaps a small concern about the future, or a minor regret about the past. Feel its weight. Then, take a slow, deep breath in, and as you breathe out, gently release that worry into the present moment. Imagine it dissolving with your breath. Do not try to solve it now. Do not cling to it. Simply breathe it out and let your attention rest fully on the feeling of your breath, the sound around you, the solidity of your body sitting or standing. Feel the present moment holding you, just as it is. This single breath of surrender is not a small thing. It is a direct step toward freedom. This practice, repeated in the quiet moments of daily life, transforms the very texture of our experience. It dissolves the illusion that liberation must be found only in special, elevated states. It shows us that freedom is here, now, in the willingness to let go of the struggle against what is. The tension we hold in our shoulders, the tightness in our chest, the mental chatter, all these release when we stop forcing reality to match our ideas. We discover that the path to awakening is not about adding something new, but about releasing the resistance that obscures what is already whole and perfect. This wisdom completes the path to living as liberation. It is the gentle, profound understanding that we are never separate from the flow of life, but always already at home within it. When we surrender to this truth, even in the smallest act of washing a dish or breathing out a worry, we step fully into the awakened life we have always been. The ordinary becomes sacred. The present moment becomes the only place we need to be. This is the seamless integration of awakening into the fabric of daily living, where every breath, every action is an expression of freedom. Imagine the quiet moment when you're simply washing the dishes. The water flows warm over your hands. The clink of porcelain is soft, and your mind is not chasing yesterday or tomorrow. There is no effort to be present, only presence itself. This is the seamless flow of awakened life. It is not a special state reserved for meditation cushions or mountain retreats. It is the natural expression of insight when we stop separating ourselves from the unfolding moment. Liberation isn't something we achieve out there. It is the very ground of being when we stop resisting what is. Awakened life isn't separate. It's the natural expression of insight. It appears not as a grand event, but as the quiet hum of being fully here, right now. Think for a moment of a time you felt truly in flow. Perhaps it was when you were deeply engaged in a creative task, lost in the rhythm of writing or painting. Maybe it was while walking in the woods, the path unfolding beneath your feet without thought, the bird song blending with your breath, or simply when you held a loved one's hand, feeling a deep connection without a single word. In those moments, did you feel a sense of ease? A natural unfolding without struggle? You weren't forcing anything. The action and the awareness were one seamless stream. There was no you trying to be present, only presence itself. This is the practice we offer. Notice one ordinary moment today where action and awareness were one. It might be as simple as stirring your tea, feeling the warmth of the cup, hearing the gentle sound of the spoon against the ceramic, and being aware of the rising steam without needing to think about it. Or stepping outside, feeling the sun on your skin, hearing the wind in the leaves, and noticing how the awareness of the sun and the sound of the wind just happen together. No effort, no separation. Just the simple, clear fact of being alive in this moment. When you notice this, you are not adding something new. You are recognizing what has always been true. the natural state of your own mind when it is not clouded by the need to control or change what is happening. This seamless flow reveals liberation in every breath. It is not a distant shore we reach, but the very water we swim in. When we stop forcing life to be different and simply allow it to be as it is, right here, the struggle dissolves. The tension that came from trying to hold on to a specific outcome, to avoid discomfort, or to create a feeling of separation, falls away. In that falling away, we discover that freedom was never missing. It was always the space within which everything arises, within the washing of a single dish, within the sound of rain on the roof, within the simple act of breathing in and breathing out. The liberation we seek is not found beyond the ordinary, it is revealed within it. When we stop looking for it and simply see what is already here. This is living as liberation. This is the seamless flow. It is not something to be attained, it is the natural expression of seeing clearly. And in that seeing, we find that every breath, every moment, is already free. As you sit here, dear friend, you've already been living within the freedom that CH09 taught you to surrender into. You dissolved tension through gentle acceptance of what is, and now you find yourself resting in the very ground of that peace. This is not a new state you've reached, it is the natural presence you've always known, simply obscured by the noise of striving. Now, let us gently turn our attention to the simplest, most immediate point of contact with that freedom, your breath. Your breath is the living bridge between the tension of suffering and the spacious freedom of now. It is not a tool to be mastered, but a natural current flowing through you, always present, always free. When you are caught in struggle, your breath may tighten, become shallow, a reflection of inner contraction. But when you are truly free, when you're fully present in the ordinary miracle of being alive, your breath becomes soft, deep, and effortlessly flowing. It feels like a gentle stream moving through still water, like a leaf floating on a calm lake. It carries no weight, no demand, only the quiet knowing of simply being here. Consider this in a moment of ordinary life. Imagine you're reaching for a cup of tea. Your hand moves slowly. You feel the warmth of the cup, the scent of the leaves. In that small action, your breath flows without effort. You don't need to think about breathing, it simply happens, as natural as the rising and falling of the ocean. This is liberation not as a distant goal, but as the very rhythm of your existence. It is not something you must chase or achieve. It is already here, in the space between one breath and the next, in the quiet pause where the mind rests. Now, take one conscious breath with this awareness. Close your eyes softly if it feels right. Feel the air entering your nostrils, cool and fresh. Notice the gentle expansion in your belly. the quiet release as you exhale. Do not force it. Do not shape it. Simply feel it as it is. In this single breath, let go of any thought of past or future. Rest fully in the present sensation. Feel how your breath, in this moment, is already free. It is not bound by worry or desire. It is simply here, breathing you, holding you in its gentle embrace. This is not a practice to perfect, it is a simple return to what is already true. As you feel this, notice how the idea of suffering begins to dissolve. The struggle to be elsewhere, to be different, to be free in a way that feels separate, fades away. There is no need to fix anything because you are already whole in this breath. The tension you thought was real is merely a shadow cast by the mind, and the breath reveals its emptiness. This is why liberation is not a destination. It is the natural state of being fully present, recognized in the most ordinary movement. This awareness shows suffering's end as natural state. Consider the quiet moment when you notice a small ache in your shoulder. In the past, you might have immediately thought, "This is trouble. This is suffering. I must fix it." But what if the suffering wasn't in the ache itself, but in the story you told about it? The end of suffering is not something you build through effort. Like constructing a wall against the wind, it is the natural state revealed when you see the root of suffering clearly. Suffering arises not from the event, but from the misunderstanding that the event must be different, that you must be different, that things must be other than they are right now. It is the mind's habitual resistance to the simple fact of what is. Reflect for a moment on your own life. What moments of suffering, what deep discomfort did you later realize was actually a misunderstanding? Perhaps a fear of rejection that dissolved when you saw the other person was simply tired, or a frustration with a task that felt impossible until you understood it was simply unfamiliar. The suffering wasn't in the task or the rejection, it was in the story you created. This is bad. This will never end. I am not enough. The end of suffering happens not when you finally succeed in changing the situation, but when you see the story for what it is, a misunderstanding, and the mind relaxes, the root is seen, and the suffering, which was always dependent on that story, simply fades like mist under the morning sun. This is the practice. When discomfort arises, whether it's a physical sensation, a difficult emotion, or a challenging interaction, pause. Notice the sensation itself, the tightness, the heat, the feeling. Then, gently observe without adding the story. Do not say, "This is awful. This is suffering. I can't stand it." Simply notice there is tightness. There is heat. There's a feeling. Let the sensation be exactly as it is, without the narrative of suffering attached. Feel the space around the sensation. Notice how the mind immediately wants to label it, to push it away, to make it into a story of suffering. Then, with kindness, let go of that label. See the tightness as just tightness, not as suffering. See the heat as just heat, not as a catastrophe. This is not about ignoring the discomfort. It is about ceasing to make it into suffering. The discomfort remains, but the suffering, the added layer of resistance, fear, and story drops away. You are not fighting the sensation. You are simply experiencing it, fully present with it, without the burden of the story. This simple shift, repeated again and again, is not a new achievement. It is the natural unfolding of awareness. It is the end of suffering not as a distant goal, but as the very ground of your immediate experience. When you see the root, the misunderstanding, and the story dissolves, the suffering ends. It ends effortlessly, as naturally as a flower opens to the sun. You don't need to do anything more. The liberation is already here, in the simple, unforced awareness of this moment, right now. The breath continues. The sensation is felt without resistance. The mind rests in spaciousness. This is not something you attain. It is what is revealed when you stop struggling to find it. The end of suffering is not a destination. It is the natural state of being fully present with what is, without the story. This realization is living the Dharma. The air holds its breath gently as you settle into this moment. Not a moment you seek, but the only moment that ever truly exists. This is the natural flow of life when freedom is not a distant goal but the very ground beneath your feet. Dharma is not a teaching you learn. It is the way life moves when the struggle to control it dissolves. It is the effortless breath in your body, the quiet space between thoughts, the simple presence that reveals suffering's end, not as an achievement, but as the natural state of being unresistant. You have felt this before in the spacious awareness of CH10SCO2, the clarity of CH10SCO3, where suffering was seen as resistance, not the world itself. Now, we step into the living of it. Consider the old monk pouring tea for a guest. His hands move with the quiet focus of water finding its level. He does not think about the act of pouring. He is simply the pouring. The tea flows, the cup fills, the guest receives. There is no effort to make it perfect. No worry about whether the cup is right. He is fully present in the movement. The sound of the liquid, the warmth of the cup. This is not a special moment set apart. It is the ordinary moment fully inhabited. The Dharma is not something he practices in the Zendo. It is the natural expression of his awareness as he moves through the simple act of offering tea. The resistance is gone, replaced by the flow. The teaching is not separate from the act. The act is the teaching. Reflect now on this truth. How will you live differently after this teaching? not by adding something new, but by releasing the subtle resistance that shapes your days. As you step out the door, how will you move through the world differently? Will you notice the weight of your steps without judgment? Will you hear the voice of the person before you with the same spacious attention as the monk hears the water? This is not about grand gestures, but about the tiny shifts in how you meet the next interaction, the next conversation, the next task, the next moment of waiting. These are not interruptions to your practice. They are the very ground where liberation is lived. Carry this awareness into your next interaction, not as an effort to be mindful, but as the natural unfolding of being fully present. Let the simple act of listening become the offering of tea. This is not the end of the path, but the path itself, revealed in the ordinary. The liberation you sought is not behind a mountain, but here, in the gentle flow of this breath, this moment, this next step. It is the natural state of being unforced, unresistant, fully alive. To live the Dharma in all moments is to discover that freedom was never lost. It was simply obscured by the effort to hold it. Now, it is seen clearly, not as a concept, but as the way life breathes, flows, and simply is. This is the culmination of the path.